Good day, I'm Zio Tutor from EDOC 104, Section C3, Group Number 8. I'm here to present to you about media literacy. So before we get directly to the topic, we should first know what is the meaning or the definition of media. So the definition of media are the communication outlets or tools used to store and deliver information or data. So when we say media, it is the way people communicate around the world, and it ranges from what we see, hear, and experience, like in TV ads, websites, news sites, video games, magazine, digital billboard, packaging, radio, social media, and all kinds of different advertisement. Few of us fully understand how media we interact with affects us and our society. So how can we sort through this? The key is media literacy. Media literacy is a set of skills that helps people to analyze the content of media messages and to determine the best way to respond to it. An example of this is when you're scrolling through social media or Facebook and found a news article that intrigues you. Firstly, you should check the source or do your own research to find if this news is true or factual. If not, you should not share this article, or much better, report the said article. And these actions illustrate a person who is media literate. A tip to determine whether this media is credible or not is just to ask yourself a question. 1. What is the message of this media? 2. Who created it? 3. What biases might they hold? And lastly, number 4, what effects do they hope their message will have? And the next subtopic will be discussed by Ms. Kimberly Novo Balispin.
Hi, this is Kimberly and Valispin, and we'll be tackling about media information literacy and its aspects. Media information literacy is a hot topic in media development today. It has the ability to access, wherein you'll be able to access information and messages, and as you access, you'll be able to recognize and understand media, locating media from a variety of sources, select different types of information based on the task, using appropriate technological tools, gathering information using multiple choices, and applying information to solve a problem. And after you access it, you'll be able to analyze it. And as you analyze, you'll have recognized particular types or genres of messages, identifying authorship, message purpose, and target audience with a variety of texts, recognizing evidence of quality and credibility in different types of messages. After analyzing, you have to evaluate it. And as you evaluate, you're going to ask, is your research process leading to relevant or useful results? As you evaluate, you have to define task. What is your problem or your question? Present findings. How do you organize and communicate what you learned? Analyze content. What did you discover and what does it mean? Select sources. How do you search for them and which do you choose? And after selecting sources, you have to identify options. What kinds of information do you need and what do you look? After evaluating, you have to create it. Make use of your brainstorming, your planning, composing, and revising process. You have to create and select images to achieve variety goals, used to communicate in the construction of messages. And after creating, you have to reflect on it. It's either it is real, is it relevant, or is it gives factual information? Ask yourself, is the source credible? And after reflecting, you have to act it. What you have access, what you analyze, what you evaluate, you create until you reflect. You have to do it. To sum up all the six ability of media information literacy that I've mentioned, it put simply the ability to identify different types of media and the messages they are sending. It is showing the skills needed to know when and what information is needed, where and how to obtain that information, how to evaluate it critically and organize it once it is found, and also how to use it in an ethical way. With the most people now spending more and more time on social media, it is high time to be discerning of what you see online. As a responsible consumer of media, you should also be able to understand its different forms and uses. So now let's proceed in the aspects of media information literacy. MIL is the optimal outcome of media information and communication technology or ICT education. We have here technical skills, content decoding skills, and knowing facts about media and ICT. First, let's proceed in the technical skill. Technical skills defines as accessing information effectively and efficiently. It is important to stress that technical skills are an absolute prerequisite for being able to put media information literacy into practice. Next, we have content decoding skills. According to Dieter Beck-Kay, he has also included what he calls media compositional skills in this model of media competence. This involves creating new kinds of media content, encouraging self-determination, and increasing individuals' chances for participation. And lastly, we have knowing facts about media and ICT. It is fostering certain attitudes towards the media and other information sources involves both being critical of the possible negative effects of the media and a readiness to positively defend the media against possible sources of influence. Again, this is Kimberly and Valiaspin, and thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I am Jessamine Villaro and I will be discussing the 7 dimensions of media information literacy according to Christine Brooks. These 7 phases of information literacy was chosen because of the need to understand conceptions, not skills or process described to be information literate. And now let's discuss these 7 phases. The first one is information technology, or using this information technology for retrieval of information and for communication. This talks about the essence of information technology, and that is to be used for accessing relevant information and for communication. All of this is like using Facebook for communication to our loved ones from afar, or using Google to widen our understanding about our lessons. Next is information sources, or means finding relevant sources efficiently. Example of information sources are books, magazines, internet, and databases. In these dimensions or phase of information literacy, our personal skills was valued in an instance like researching and organizing information. One is information process. This linked to problem solving and decision making. This involves our content decoding skills, for this is where we make judgments about the newly acquired information in an instance like evaluating. The next one is information control. This is where recognizing and managing information happens. Example of this is like eliminating some information that are not so relevant. And what makes this important is that this will not only increase efficiently, but because information stimulates knowledge development. The fifth one is knowledge construction, or developing a personal perspective with gained knowledge. Knowledge construction happens when students go beyond reproduction to generate ideas and understandings that are new to them. Example of this is like synthesizing information. Sixth is knowledge extension. This involves our personal knowledge, experience, and creative insights. This is where we put our personal knowledge, the newly acquired information, and our creative insights together for us to be able to make good approaches and ways in achieving different tasks and making novel solutions. Lastly is wisdom. This involves values and ethics combined with knowledge. This means using information wisely for the benefits of others, like what I am doing right now, sharing to you the knowledge about dimensions of media information literacy that I've learned from the internet. Wisdom means using the acquired knowledge and understanding not just for our own progress but for others as well. And that ends my topic, and I hope we will not just acquire these dimensions but let us put it into practice. For questions and clarifications, see you on a scheduled virtual meeting. Virtual class.
I'm Jason D. Bensuna. Today, I will discuss the advantage and disadvantage of media information literacy. Advantage and disadvantage of media information. Advantage of media include that fact that media provides a way for information and news to widely shared. A great example to consider is COVID-19. If there was no media like news, radio, television, website, and social media, it would have been very difficult to spread a news that we are fighting deadly virus nowadays. A second advantage of media is that expose us to culture, art, and ways of life which would otherwise never have known. Like, we're able to see others' culture have to offer. We are able to see indigenous people are living in their own community. A third advantage of media is that thanks to advertising, the media provides a platform for a business to gain market shares, thereby keeping economy going. Example of advantage in media information literacy is access to online books, pictures, blogs, documentary films, and musics. Enable kids to learn about different cultures around the world. Disadvantage of media information. The disadvantage of media include a risk of incorrect reporting and a loss of privacy. The media puts an incorrect and inaccurate information. Disadvantage of media include that it can result the spread of misinformation and development of bad values. Example, fake news. Fake news is a common example of disadvantage of media information. Second, cyberbullying. Third, crime. Fourth, strong effect on children behavior. And
This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.